Hi, I'm Ben, one of the engineers from ROLA. Today I'm going to show you how to put together the vertical bike rack. But first I'll unbox it and show you what comes in the box. I'll pull all the parts out of the wrapping. You'll need a knife just to cut some of the tape, and then I'll lay it down here so we can show you all the parts that come in the kit. So we've got all the parts for the VBR 3 bike carrier, 3 wheel cradles, the vertical bar, the hitch base, the horizontal bars, and all the fasteners. The first thing we need to do is pull the TBM out of the tow bar from your existing tow bar. Okay, so the next part is to install the hitch tube into your tow bar. There's 4 different mounting points, so depending on your vehicle, you can put it in further, closer or further out. There's also multiple holes on the outside. That's for attaching the base, so it can be located closer in or further out from the vehicle, depending on how you want it to sit on your car. So now we'll insert the hitch tube, and you'll need to just use your tow bar's pin and R-clip that came with your tow bar. On this car we'll insert the hitch tube so it's just on the furthest out hole, and we can push it in closer if we need to once it's all assembled. Next we put the base onto the hitch tube. For now I'm going to install it on the furthest out holes, but it can be put in close to the vehicle if you need it. For this car I'll put it on the furthest out holes, and then I still have further adjustability on the hitch pin holes so I can push it in closer to the car if I need to. So for now we'll leave these bolts loose so we can push it in closer to the car if we need to once the rest is assembled. For this vehicle though, it'll probably work well there, and I'll just push it in closer using the pin holes. The next step is to install the vertical bar. So it just slides in between the base, and then with the pull pin we provide and the R-clip, slide it in through the lower hole. The vertical bar can just rest like that. And then there's 3 tilt locations that can be used. So for this car, we'll put it on the middle hole. That'll make it fairly vertical. But if your car has a lot of stuff sticking out further here, then you can tilt it further back out. So I've just tightened up this bolt here using a 19mm spanner on the nut and a 18mm socket wrench on the bolt. Then we'll install the lower horizontal bar. So it just sits behind the rack, between the rack and the car, and it gets installed with 2 M12 bolts. Now that the lower horizontal bar is secure and tightened up with the fasteners, we'll insert the wheel straps into their locators. So get the end with the handle and slide it through the cutout in the lower horizontal bar. It should come out the back. Then line up the cam buckle press button so it's facing outwards. And you see the 2 holes here. They will line up with the holes in the horizontal bar. They are for an M6 bolt, which slides in from the top. It should go through the hole in the cam buckle and the horizontal bar. The webbing should be behind this bolt, and then it should all fit in nice and secure so the webbing can be pulled through from behind the bolt. Then just attach the washer and M6 nut underneath. So use a 4mm Allen key and a 10mm spanner for the nut, and tighten up these bolts on the wheel straps. Once that's tight, repeat the same process for each of the wheel straps. Next, we'll install the middle horizontal bar. There's lots of different positions it can go in, depending if you've got shorter or longer bikes. In general though, this position with leaving one hole free underneath, this should work for pretty much every bike. So that's where we'll install it. We use the M12 fasteners again. Once you've got the middle bar secured on, we'll put the top bar. So make sure the ROLA logos are facing outwards, and you'll notice there's some bigger holes that face down and towards the back for using with a tie-down strap. These clamping plates and the top bar should be a really tight fit, which will make sure everything fits together and doesn't have any movement. Once you've got the bolts in, just use a 6mm Allen key and a 17mm spanner for the nuts on the back and tighten that up. Once you've installed the top bar, take the wheel cradle. You need to insert the spacer tubes. They just slide into the horizontal bar, and they'll make sure that when this is clamped up, it'll be really rigid. Make sure that the ROLA logo is facing towards the driver's side of the car. You'll also see that there's an angled guide plate for the bike wheels. Once you've tightened up the wheel cradles using a 6mm Allen key and a 17mm spanner for the nut, just repeat the same steps across for the rest of the wheel cradles. We've got all the wheel cradles installed. Now we'll put the end caps on each of the horizontal bars. So I'm happy with how this is sitting on the car. It's nice and close to the back of the car. I'm going to tighten up these bolts on the base, and then once I've done that, I'll install the anti-rattle plate. To install the anti-rattle plate, just get the U-bolt and place it over the top of the hitch tube of the bike rack, and then the plate with the lip facing outwards attaches onto the bottom of the U-bolt, and then tighten up with the washer and nuts so it clamps onto the bottom of the tow bar. When you're installing the anti-rattle plate, just make sure that it clamps up against the underside of the tow bar, and the lip should be pushing up on the hitch tube from the bike rack. When you tighten it all up, it'll pull the bike rack down into the tow bar and eliminate the rattle that can come in the interface of the bike rack and the tow bar. We've now finished assembling the bike rack. Now, when you're using the bike rack, you can use the tilt function by removing the pull pin and tilting the rack out of the way, which allows access to your boot. If you're driving in off-road conditions with rough roads, we've supplied a bolt that you can replace the pull pin with, and that'll eliminate even more of the movement. You can also use a ratchet strap to hook onto the cutouts in the top bar of the bike rack and tie it back to your vehicle, which will keep the rack nice and steady when you're in off-road conditions. Now for the fun part, loading the bikes. So the easiest way to do that is to grab the bike just below the seat and on the forks, lift it up and into the top wheel cradle. Rest the back wheel on the middle bar. Get the wheel strap through the wheel. hook it into the lower bar and pull it tight, and you're ready to ride. Now we've got our bikes on the rack. If your rack or the bikes obscure your number plate, you can use the number plate holder that we provide. Just thread the Velcro straps through the back of the number plate. Then you can attach the number plate using small M6 bolts and nuts that we've provided. So just wrap the Velcro straps around the bike tyres. Now you're good to go. Thanks for watching the ROLA VBR assembly and install video. For any more information, head over to rola.com.au.